I decided to meal prep because I need to get my life together. This week has been so hectic. I worked over 70 hours. I have 3 kids. We just got a new puppy. My husband has helped as much as he can, but he is gone for the next 2 weeks on vacation. During my busy schedule last week, if my husband wasn't making dinner, them kids was eating takeout, or I ain't gonna even lie, cereal. Don't judge me. Work is still about to be hectic, but I decided that I need to rebalance my life. So working out, because your girl weighs 170 pounds. I'm 5'3". That is not cute, and I got vacation to go on. And for real, for vanity purposes, I want to look good and not have to suck my stomach in. This is not what this video is about, but whatever. I normally do eat healthy. Like, I don't keep a whole lot of junk in the house, but the problem is when you're not eating at your house, you eat junk. I planned all of the meals for the week, and it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It wasn't as challenging. I also planned some breakfast options because that's when we're eating cereal a whole lot. Well, not me. I don't eat breakfast. So that's another problem. So either the kids are eating cereal or I'm not eating breakfast at all. All that's bad. So meal prepped this week. Come check it out. First stop is our local farmers market. Now, I used to come here a lot, but hadn't been in a long time for a whole lot of reasons. But they did some upgrades and I'm super impressed. Like, they used to only be open 2 days out the week on the weekends. Now they're open like 4 or 5 days. But anyway, when I come to the farmers market or any other grocery store, for real, I like to kind of see if anything inspires me. I have my full list of things I want to get, but if something catches my eye, then I may kind of pivot or add something special. They normally have bread. They didn't have any bread today because I was looking for that. Oh, I ended up getting some okra. I love okra, but my kids don't. The kids were kind of working my nerves a little bit. They were being silly. I mean, being kids or whatever, but yeah, that's the okra. I'm already seeing the time tick and go away, so I ended up taking them home. But check out my silly kids posing. I mean, how can you not love them? They are my little hearts. My oldest one is at home, but this is what I ended up getting. So salmon, because I want to have that for dinner. I'm going to marinate that for about 45 minutes while we're cooking. And that's all the seasonings and the parsley that I'm using. Next, I'm going to do the shrimp because that needs to marinate as well. And then I'm roasting some vegetables for some Alfredo sauce. So carrots, sweet potatoes are going to be for breakfast, eggplant, broccoli for breakfast. Gonna make some overnight oats in 2 different types, so some with blueberries, some with apples, like apple cinnamon vibe. Peppers and onions for the sweet potato hash. Pineapple and ginger. I was gonna make this blended thing and some pineapple water. That didn't happen. Salmon, or it's gonna be a shrimp taco salad. I think I said I wanted that to be. Didn't finish making the salad, and the fruit salad for the kids. My youngest son wanted to make that, so I said I will let him do that later. Cream cheese and Parmesan for Alfredo sauce, and then spinach. Now, my goal was to do this in 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'm going to tell you right now that did not happen. Between the kids and everything, life happened. But anyway, here we go. First thing I'm making is this marinade for the salmon. So olive oil, honey, soy sauce, lemon zest, and then parsley chopped up to kind of really give it that herbaceous vibe. Italian seasoning, I think it's herb de Provence, or if you say that, salt, and then pepper and garlic. Now, I told my husband I want this little machine thingy that I saw because this is not fun. Like, it flips out everywhere, it gets everything dirty. I was over it. I'm like, forget it, I'm not using this anymore. This is stupid. But then I realized I didn't want to cut it, so I had to keep using it. But I'm definitely getting that little chop machine now. I was so frustrated. Now just mix it all up. Make sure it's combined really, really well, especially because it has the honey in it. And then I'm going to prepare my pan for the salmon. Now, y'all, I don't like wasting a whole lot of dishes, and I had 8 pieces of salmon, and they were thick, and you don't want to overcrowd it, and I was trying to squeeze it in there, and I just couldn't make it work. I'm like, I don't know why I did this like 3 or 4 times. Like, ma'am, there's no more space in here. I still had like 2 extra pieces that I had to fit, or 1 extra piece. And my son, I was over here fussing at him and arguing. That's why I can't get it together. But anyways, wanted to make sure I get the marinade on both sides and massage it in there. I am using my hands. They are clean, and I'm not cooking for nobody else but my family, and we done shared a whole lot of other stuff anyway, but my hands are clean, so leave me alone about not having no gloves on. But got everything combined, mixed really well. I will tell you that this was smelling really good. And I was like, okay, I could be on to something, because normally either I air fry it when it has the skin on because I like the crispy skin, but my kids don't like it. And it was just frustrating. I couldn't find exactly what I wanted in the store without paying an arm and a leg. So this is what I went with. But I was like, ooh, I can eat some non-crispy skin if it has all this honey and stuff on it. Bam. Fire. Put the rest of it on top and massage that in, and then we were good to go. I couldn't find my top, so I covered the fish with aluminum foil and then got both pans into the refrigerator with the help of my 13-year-old, who was like also my cleaner. Next up was the shrimp. All I had to do was peel off the tail because I didn't want the kids to have to deal with that. It was already deveined. So starting with my olive oil, the herb de Provence stuff, smoked paprika. That garlic powder was trying not to come out. And then I did some lime zest. Once I had all my ingredients in, going ahead and mix everything up. Now, I realized I forgot to put salt in there. I am big on seasoning every single part of your ingredients at every single stage. So I would have been hot if I had no salt. And come to realize I probably did need a little bit more. Got the shrimp in the refrigerator to marinate, and then started on my roasted vegetables for the Alfredo. My son wants to be pescatarian, but he loves chicken Alfredo. So I decided, okay, we'll make a roasted veggie Alfredo. But how do you get this eggplant meat out the top? I feel like that's such a waste. But I decided to use 2 eggplants to make sure this really stretched, because sometimes kids be acting funny when there's no meat in a dish. So I didn't want to have to cook all over again. If you can't tell, almost everything I do is going to start with olive oil, then salt and pepper. Now I'm going to tell y'all, I'm only using this measuring thing in case people ask me for this recipe, but clearly I don't really use measuring stuff. My spirit be leading me. But mix, mix, mix. That's it. Now next, the carrots. I used a peeler to hurry up and get that part done. Now, this is my first time making Alfredo sauce from scratch, and it's definitely my first time making a roasted veggie type of Alfredo. And my kids are horribly honest, so I'm hoping this turns out well. So similar seasoning to the eggplant, we got our olive oil, we got our pepper. Lord, this measuring stuff don't want me to be great. Salt, and then back again with this garlic crap. I did continue to use that stupid press thingy, but I feel like I was getting the hang of it a little bit more. Now, I still don't know what the little film is that comes off that be stuck on the inside. Like, should I keep that skin in and keep pushing? I don't know. I had too many questions. It's getting later and later in the evening. I think I may be about 45 minutes in, but these kids are like literally on my head right now, and it's irking the mess out of me. But mix everything up together, and then I'm going to end up throwing this on the same pan as the eggplants to get it roasted. We roasted for 450 degrees, I think, for around 25-30 minutes, and it came out good. I thought I was going to have to flip and do some other stuff, but I didn't. So bow, let's go on to the next thing. Next is our sweet potatoes for our breakfast hash. I prefer to peel them raw and then dice them, then roast. I don't know why. Some people like to do it in the microwave first or boil first, but I like to maybe control my consistency a little bit more. Like, I don't want super soft or mushy sweet potatoes, and I feel like I have more control if I start from diced raw sweet potatoes in the oven versus the boil it or throw it in the microwave or whatever. So that's how I do it. If you still here rocking with me, then I think you know my vibe and you're starting to get a feel for my cooking style. So subscribe if you know what's coming next. Say the ingredient. Olive oil. You already know it. Then pepper. I needed more pepper, so I said forget that little measuring spoon. Salt, garlic powder, and then ground coriander. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, that's actually really good. I forget exactly what that is. Isn't that cilantro? But it smells really good. Mix everything, got that combined. I was going to do something different with the onions and bell peppers, but again, I was running out of steam, and I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this stuff together and roast it with the sweet potatoes, because that's where it's going to be anyway, so why do anything separate? And I just seasoned the peppers and onions with the salt and olive oil. And then I realized, oh, I probably should have separated these onion pieces. And then I said, forget it. It'll get roasted and separate on its own. So again, whatever. And this is my eggplants and carrots. Y'all, when I tell you these tasted so good, I was so proud of myself. Now, on to my roasted broccoli. I will tell you, I don't care. I made the best roasted broccoli ever. Like, people think it's so basic, but it's not. All right, y'all, say it with me. Olive oil, but here's my little special ingredient. It's the balsamic vinegar. This will elevate your broccoli and have people being like, oh, what is this? What is this? Like, kids even love my broccoli. I ran out of my regular salt, so I had to use Himalayan salt. And then some black pepper, garlic powder, and then shake, 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 mix it up. Realized that the broccoli wasn't glistening like I needed it to, so added some more olive oil. And then here is my salmon. It's been cooking. Clearly, we liked it because we took a little taste test and was kept eating it. It was fire. Now, on to breakfast. My kids been asking me to make them overnight oats for a while. Y'all, I'm clearly tired. Like, why would I try to pour this big old container into this small little measuring cup? Really stupid. So then I was like, okay, duh, ding dong. Get a scoop, a measuring scoop. Man, cup. See, clearly I'm tired as I'm doing this little voiceover. But scoop 2 cups of oats into this container. I'm making a big one, and I didn't want to do mason jars because it would just take up too much space, and we're going to be eating this a lot. Did the chia seeds, added some vanilla extract. Now, this one is going to be the lemon blueberry overnight oats. So, zested my lemon. My 7-year-old loves lemon and blueberry, so this is really for him. Mashed up some bananas to kind of give it a different taste than using Greek yogurt. And then added the salt, the Himalayan salt, which actually turned out pretty good. And some maple syrup. Now, I'll tell you, my daughter didn't like it this morning when we tried it. After it sat overnight, I liked it a little warm. But my 7-year-old who loves blueberries loved this. So, yeah, mixed up everything and then poured in my milk, and that was it for this. So note, you can also warm this up a little bit just to take the chill off, which is what I did, and I actually really liked it. Now, clean up a little bit, and next is apple cinnamon. So my 13-year-old doesn't really like bananas, and he's okay or iffy with blueberries. So making him slash everybody apple cinnamon fall type of vibe because it just started getting a little cool here in Atlanta. And I used 2 apples. I think I did like 1.5, maybe even 2 cups of oats still for this one. And then got all my seasonings together. So salt again, like you got to salt this stuff because it'll be nasty if you don't. Cinnamon. I use ground ginger and then also use some allspice and the maple syrup. Didn't want to use honey or anything like that. I use plain non-fat Greek yogurt as the thickener or whatever for this one instead of bananas. And when I tell you this morning when my son tasted it, he told me he had 2 cups of it. And he's really picky about eating certain things. So I was hype about that, poured in my almond milk, and then that was it for that. Oh my gosh, we are almost done, I promise. So this is the chicken Alfredo. Well, not chicken Alfredo. Really making the Alfredo sauce. Started with the olive oil and then some more minced garlic. And let that kind of simmer for a little bit. Probably let it simmer a little too long because I was tired. Y'all, look, I'm spilling flour everywhere. I'm so over this. And I'm hungry at this point. But mixed everything together, mixed in the cream cheese. I was supposed to let this kind of dissolve, but again, I'm tired. I said everything's going to come together, I hope. And mind you, this is my first time making it, so I ain't got no business trying to freestyle and willy-nilly, but I let the spirits talk to me. And look, it came out combined and everything. Put in my vegetable stock and then the herbe de Provence, however you say that, seasoning, and some salt. Mixed it up, got that all combined, and then I felt a little bad, so I cleaned up a little bit, or at least tried to wipe up something. I was feeling a little pressure because my son was right there breathing down my neck.
Also, do you know sometimes this week I can get some new basketball shoes?
Yeah, Daddy already talked to me about it. Here, come taste.
It was good.
Now that I got his approval and it thickened up like it was supposed to, on to my shrimp. Now, I know better. That oil was not ready after 2 seconds. So I did right and waited until the oil was hot enough to put all the shrimp in. I know this is way too much shrimp, but I was not trying to cook 2 different batches. I'm hungry at this point, and I was over it. So just had to make sure I individually flipped everything so all the shrimp got enough love and it turned pink. But look at that crust. It was fire. This is everything that I've made. So the sweet potatoes, onions, and peppers, and broccoli for the hash, the apple, cinnamon overnight oats, and the blueberry lemon overnight oats. That's the shrimp. The roasted eggplant and carrots along with Alfredo sauce, and then the salmon. So let me know in the comments how I did for this meal prep.